Now the moment they've all been waiting for. It's another round of Spitball, and much to your disappointment, we've moved it to Thursday.
Again, outrageous.
I know. And we're not doing Spitballs anymore. We're going to have to retitle the whole segment.
No, it's like now it's like
Lucky Dip.
Lucky Dip. Yeah, that's right. It's a film Lucky Dip.
All right, Lucky Dip. Welcome to Lucky Dip. Thursday night
Lucky Dip. So it's okay that it's on Thursday. It can always be on Thursday because Spitball's on Tuesday. Lucky Dip's on Thursday.
Do you want to dip into the luck?
I got a tiny one. Oh, no.
Not fortune
it's
cookies,
it's a grower. Yeah, it is. The Sting 2. No, it's just the Sting.
The Sting. Well, I want to talk about Sting too. The Sting is a bit of a classic.
The Sting.
The Sting, starring Robert Redford and Paul Newman.
Part of the hand.
Who directed that? Is it Roy George Hill, I think? Directed?
George Roy Hill.
George Roy Hill?
Yeah. Yeah, is it him or is it like Robert Aldrich or someone? I don't know.
Jesus.
I don't know.
We're experts. And
I think, didn't George Roy Hill he did Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
I think he did both, but it could
Maybe
be wrong.
Maybe he did both because it was a re-pairing of.
It certainly was.
It is a great film. My biggest issue with it, though, now that I kind of look back on it, is that Robert Redford is miscast.
You reckon?
Because he is clearly in his 30s, and he's supposed to be playing this naive kid who's never pulled a con.
Yeah, it's true.
But he's
so charismatic in it.
He is, and it's not something that I ever noticed. Until somebody brought it up.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever thought of his age in it.
Right.
Yeah,
he is way too old.
I'm going to watch it again with that in mind because I don't really think I've thought about his age in it.
Yeah, I love it. I love any movie that has Charles Durning as a hard man.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a clever Sting too. It is good.
It is good,
and that brings us to the Sting too. I have to talk about it. You can see behind us the wall is covered in number 2s. I don't know. Have I got a Sting 2 up there?
You have the Sting 2 up there?
Maybe have to add one to it. There's room. Anyway.
Just take down 2010 because that doesn't have a 2 in it.
It does, right at the start. 2010.
That's not what I mean. And I think you knew that.
And it's one of the few sort of lesser quality sequels that Jarrett has agreed with me on that it's actually good.
Right, the Sting 2 or 2010.
No, Sting 2. 2010 is fantastic. What are you talking about?
As someone who didn't really like 2001, I have no desire to watch 2010.
You'd like it. It's like Event Horizon without the violence.
I didn't like Event Horizon either.
Now we're not in the roll. All right, let's move to the next one. Let's go from the top. And I have got, Kenny.
Kenny. Once again, haven't seen Kenny.
Man, these are supposed to be conversations.
Yeah. You'd think that I'm on a movie podcast. That would have meant that I've actually watched a couple of films.
You've watched plenty of movies that no one has seen. But Kenny, look, I do think it's one of my 2 favourite Australian comedies. Let's put it that way. So that and The Big Steal are up there for me. And Kenny is one of the most endearing movies I've ever seen. It is such a heartfelt movie. You're on board with this character from the start to the finish.
Yeah.
He's just a working class guy trying to do right by his family. Everybody looks down on him, but he still keeps a strong upper lip and gets on with it. But the one-liners are what define this movie. It's all shit related because he plays the plumber. Kenny plays the plumber that goes around Melbourne, transporting potaloos or whatever you call them, porta potties.
Porta potties.
And it's all when he's at the Melbourne Cup, for example, it's all the rich people looking down at him because he cleans toilets. But without his services, they would have nowhere to shit. Beautiful, beautiful film.
No, a lot of respect for people who clean toilets.
Man, it is.
Toiletses.
I want you to watch it because it's just really good. My favorite line, which is the most famous from the film, is when he's inside a septic tank scrubbing. And he's got an apprentice or a workmate talking his head off, having a conversation about his love life. And Kenny just pops up with his rubber gloves on and a mask, lifts the mask up, and he goes, "Mate, there is a smell in here that will outlast religion. If you could just keep it down for 5 minutes." It's beautiful stuff. And it spawned Kenny's World, which was a TV show where...
Is that like Bloke's World? I used to watch that on Channel 31.
Where both directed by Clayton Jacobson, who was on Good Movie Monday a few weeks ago. And this TV series took Kenny around the world to explore toilet habits of other cultures.
See, now, funnily enough, it is my rule of travel is that I require a decent toilet.
Yeah.
I don't care just about anything else. Like
Yep.
I mean, probably more so a private toilet.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going in a squatty potty. I don't want to use public toilets. I don't want to like Airbnb with a family and use a shared bathroom. I just need a private space.
Yep.
And so this Kenny series sounds perfect for me because I can just tick off all the countries like I'm not going to.
And and there's this great in the film. There's this great moment where he actually is. He goes to Nashville for a conference on like portaloos and all that, and the fish out of water stuff there is just the best.
Right.
You know, he's so lovable.
I didn't even know it existed, this TV show.
Kenny's World. I have it on DVD. It's probably in my garage in boxes somewhere, but no, it's good. It's good. I think it's like 12 episodes.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, your turn. Dig into that bowl, Kenny.
Take one from the bottom there. I'm picking all the ones that are really folded. We were just talking about this. Under Siege 2. No, I was talking about it yesterday.
There it is. It's up there. I don't know if
Under
you can see it on the
Siege 2.
camera, but it's there, right there.
Funnily enough, I believe Under Siege 2. Have a look at that. Who directed that?
Jeff Murphy.
Jeff Murphy.
Yeah.
Who is the father of Paul Murphy, who you may be talking to soon, who directed Low Down Dirty Criminals.
Absolutely. And Jeff Murphy of, so many great films.
Like
Fame.
Free Jack and Goodbye Pork Pie.
Yes.
And,
Quiet Earth.
Quiet Earth.
Young Guns 2. Like this, I love this guy. He did. He also did Fortress 2.
Fortress 2?
Yeah.
The one in space?
Yes, I like that. I don't have that up there because they're mainly day bills, and I don't.
I was going to say, did they do a day bill for Fortress 2? You may be able to get a...
It's quite a problem creating this wall when there's so many movies I wanted up there, but I want a day bill so I can squeeze more in.
But you should do a search for US inserts because
Oh.
they're similar to day bills.
I'll do that.
In proportion. They were actually just a bit bigger, but if you're shrinking them down anyway,
Stay
like,
tuned.
a lot of these
Stay
probably
tuned. You might see a new wall
are
soon.
probably inserts rather than day bills.
Right. Anyway, it's not about the wall. We're talking about
Under Siege 2.
Is it Eric Bogdanovich? Is that his name, or Eric Bogovian? Or
Eric Bogosian
Bogosian
is the villain, and
never get it right.
and what's his name from People Under the Stairs?
Everett McGill. Or?
McGill, yeah, is the kind of the two main villains, and Steven Seagal returns as Casey Ryback.
There is a lot of hate for this film.
/
I like it a lot. I saw it for the first time at the Knox Hoyts or Village lock-in, an all-nighter, and
I remember those.
My mates probably weren't into it, but I was right on the edge of my seat for this film. Loved it.
I liked it. I think they made a huge mistake. Like looking back on it now,
Yeah,
they got Katherine Heigl as the niece,
yeah,
or whatever she is in it,
niece, I think. Yeah,
and she's not in a thong. Like you look at My Father the Hero. She constantly talks about how inappropriate that film was and like how she thought nothing of it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many times she mentions Under Siege 2 in any interview? Never. They needed something controversial in it to keep that film in the zeitgeist. That's what it was missing.
True.
You know, like he could have had to... They could have totally ripped off the plot of My Father the Hero when he's her uncle and has to pretend to be her boyfriend to impress the who's the black guy in it. It's not. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like the love interest, and he's not a bellboy. He's one of the conductors, or I don't know what they call them on trains. That yeah, I don't know what the staff. It's not like a.
It's not a concierge.
Yes, I don't know. He's like a waiter in the trolley car, or something like that. He's something like that, or like a porter. He's a porter.
There we go.
Yeah, they could have totally ripped off. My Father the Hero, and just added action to it. Wow. Much more controversial, and
they had tried for many years to do Under Siege 3. Imagine doing it now with Seagal in the shape he's in. That'd be hilarious.
I mean, but it's perfect for a remake.
Very
for a reboot. Like, who would you get? Like, would it be what's his name? Old mate from 12 Rounds. Where is he? John Cena. John Cena in there. Oh no, do it with get Ronda Rousey to be in it, or Gina Carano, even though she's technically been cancelled.
I just don't want to see this movie remade. I mean, Under Siege is a remake of how many movies? Whether it's Die Hard or.
But that's it. Yeah. I mean, it's happened so often that are they actually remakes, or are they just it's one of the 7 stories?
Yeah,
now that
that's it.
And you're like,
Hey, we got
there's
to
always
talk
room
about
for
Jeff
that.
Murphy, so that's good.
That's it.
All
Yeah.
right. I've pulled one out prematurely. Mystic River.
Ah.
Which I think when it came out, a lot of people thought was called Mr. Quiver.
Really?
Yes. We used to get people in the video store back in the day asking for Mr. Quiver.
Yeah, that's what we used to get.
Which it's probably the Jeffrey Rush film, Quills.
Quills, yeah.
Terrible.
We had True Love and Chaos, and people would come in and ask for True Love and Chacos.
Well, the classic Les Miserables.
Yeah.
True, people asked for it all the time.
Les Miserables. I remember one time we had, or I won't mention names, but the boss's brother was filling in for the boss behind the counter, and From Dusk to Dawn had just come out. And people come in and go, "Oh, have you got a copy of Dusk Till Dawn?" And he'd look for it on the
Dusk
computer.
Till Dawn with a D.
He's looking for the D. He's like, no, we don't have it. Like the whole day, and there's like 6 new release copies on the shelf. Just didn't go out. No, it's out. No, we don't have it.
Man, what happened when the sequels came out? Same deal.
Yeah, well, we only got no one. No one was coming into the video store demanding those.
I was.
Oh yeah, you were. All those Rebecca Gayheart fans demanding it because that was before she killed someone.
Yeah. What are we up to?
It's so ironic that she plays Cliff Booth's wife in Thinger when you're like, no, she killed someone in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Have we done 2 each?
Yeah, I think so.
We haven't
didn't
really
actually talk about Mystic River at all. But
Mr. Quiver.
Mr. Quiver.
Look, it's a great film. It's a Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood film. It is a good film. Funnily enough, I only ever watched it that once theatrically. I haven't gone back and
Packs a
rewatched
punch. Those scenes when Sean Penn discovers that his child's been murdered, like that is gut wrenching stuff. It's a performance film for sure. The investigator side.
Funnily enough, Tim Robbins is basically doing exactly the same thing that he did in War of the Worlds. Like he's playing the same character.
Yeah, let's contextualize that. That was mentioned on the podcast. Like,
Yes.
If you've just stumbled across this video, that means nothing.
I'm assuming everyone's listened to the podcast before they...
I reckon, no, there are people that stumble across these videos just because of the hashtags and whatnot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, particularly the reaction ones. They go hashtag in whatever movie it is we're reviewing.
I'm shocked to find that hashtags work.
They do. They shock me too. Yeah, but anyway, what are we hashtagging this one? Is it Lucky Dip or is it Spitball?
Hashtag bikini. That I think a lot of people follow that hashtag.
All right, let's do one more. We'll just. I mean, we're not really talking about the films. We're just
talking.
Yeah.
All right, what have I got here?
Well, that's a long one.
It's all the money in the world, all the mongi in the world, but it's all the money in the world.
Shit house writing. All the money in the world. The film that exists twice.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Kevin Spacey
Same
version.
here. Mind you, I'm very glad that they recut it, not because of the Kevin Spacey fact, like just because the trailer for the Kevin Spacey version just looked like prosthetics. Like it didn't look convincing whatsoever.
And I can't see him doing it as well.
No.
Like that scene, that scene where he's Mark Wahlberg is trying to get him to why don't you just pay?
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't. I could be exposed. Like, the new thing's coming out next week.
There's no way Spacey could deliver that as convincingly.
Yeah.
I agree. As good an actor as Spacey is, he's just not the right age.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And what's his name is, like, I was kind of like, after watching that, I went back and watched stuff like Wolf and stuff, and The Squeeze. Like, he's just so good as an arsehole, as a psychopath.
Yeah, totally.
Like, he's,
Yeah, it was a very...
Christopher Plummer, you kind of think it's so odd considering that guy, his career was kind of made by Sound of Music, and yet he's much better as an arsehole than he is as a nice guy.
We're all better off for Kevin Spacey being a sex pest.
Yeah.
We've got a good film out of that.
The good thing to come out of Sex Pest Kevin Spacey.
You want to read that one out?
Jungle to Jungle,
which is a remake
of
I guess Jungle to Jungle,
but reverse. It's the second Jungle is first on the original one.
Yeah, that's right.
Or is it two Jungle? Jungle 2? Is that how they
take your pick?
Yeah.
It's what, a Tim Allen film?
Yeah.
Disney film, and I don't know what the kid's name is that's in it.
It's not one of the Home Improvement kids. It's someone else. They didn't get Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
No.
Heartthrob, JTT.
What about the guy that was in like Carrie 2? What was his name? the older ugly brother.
Oh yeah, Zachary Ty Bryan. Is that the older kid?
He's got like a big buff head and like.
Yeah. But doesn't he get his junk? He gets his junk shot off with a spear gun in Carrie 2, doesn't he?
Sure does.
It's fucking. It's amazing.
Carrie
And you
2's an
see like the
interesting
junk.
film. So you see, we're talking about
Yeah,
Carrie 2
Carrie
from
2,
Jungle.
Like it's. I could never get there playing the Kevin Spacey game. No,
You're obsessed.
the other Kevin.
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
I suppose I could. But it'd have to tie into Amy Irving somehow because I think she's the only one. I don't know any other films that Emily Bergel has done.
Hang on, are we talking about Jungle to Jungle or
Yeah,
Carrie 2?
getting Jungle to Jungle to Carrie 2
Oh, yeah.
via the Kevin Bacon game.
How would you? Let's have a think.
Although I suppose you have to get to Kevin Bacon, don't you, from either one of those films? But
surely Tim Allen's a connection somewhere.
well, he has to be because I don't know who else is in Jungle to Jungle.
I've never
he'd be in surely you go you'd say Tim Allen's in Wild Hogs with John Travolta and that.
It'd have to be something like that or Moneyball or not Moneyball, Red Ball or something like that.
Yeah,
something even Toy Story because you got Tom Hanks and then I've never been good at 6 Degrees of any game.
Who's the girl in Red Belt?
Emily Mortimer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, great film. David Mamet.
It's a fantastic film.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think of how to connect. Amy Irving, who's been in a bunch of, I was trying to think Peter Regat.
She'd be
they
the
were
last
together in
person
Crossing Delancey.
She'd be the last person I could connect things to.
Well, she's...
Well, you got John Travolta.
I mean, there's the original Carrie.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
John
right.
Travolta.
So John Travolta
Yeah.
is in Carrie with... So that's how you would do it. John
Yeah.
Travolta is in Wild Hogs with Tim Allen.
Yep. So Kevin Bacon's got nothing to do with this?
No,
it's
just
the basis.
straight to Carrie too. We just bypass
Well,
Kevin Bacon.
Now bring bacon into it. Well, pig's blood. Bacon.
That took me too long to get. So I'd like to cut this section of the video, please.